So the units of thermal energy that we captured, we actually created a metric through them which stabilized our currency. We took the old idea of gold pegging our currency and shifted it over to the thermal units of energy that we were provably bringing back from space, and that in a sense pegged our US dollar. Right, and I never liked the idea of there being any crutches upon the US dollar. I think the cryptocurrencies had their place for a while, but there's nothing like a strong US dollar. So at that point, our dollar was so strong and we became so central to the equity markets in the world that, well, you remember, we made it a privilege to have access to the United States equity markets, so that when other countries came here and posted their companies on our United States exchanges, we expected to have the same privilege extended to us, and we were actually quite fair about that. But we no doubt became the hub of the equity markets in the world. Okay, so at this point, with this surplus of energy, we were functioning very, very much on 8 cylinders as an economy. And the next thing to do was to create a sort of concentric economy around the middle class. And I hate using that term, it sounds so yesterday, but essentially around the independent small business owner. And that allowed our people to have a pioneering vision, to live their lives with inspiration, and it created further separation from our miniaturized federal government to allow our people to really have the highest stake in the wealth creation of the United States and not the government itself. Parallel to all of this was the miniaturization of the federal government and the privatization of many of our programs. At first, those were optional in terms of one's ability to privatize their retirement. We still allowed them right at the beginning to work through the government program, what was classically known as Social Security. But as we looked at the data, it became very clear that if someone had invested in the S&P over a period of 25 to 30 years, they would have done far better than simply lodging their money with us for all those years. So we moved out of that, and essentially with this new economy that was so highly efficient, and with the energy independence of the United States, the people of the United States really were working within a very fair marketplace, getting a lot for their money, and moreover, they were inspired to be really, really pioneers in starting their own business. And that really uplifted those people who for so many years were artificially doted upon by the government and put into a welfare state mentality, what we called the nanny state.